How are you, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bardi Shop. I'm your host, Steve Bardi, here with today's guest, Mr. Eric Fusco. Eric, how are you today?
I'm good, Steve, and yourself?
I'm short and ugly, but I stay married somehow.
Well, you know, she's a godsend.
She's an angel. She's got a spot reserved in heaven for putting up with my bullshit. So we have quite a bit of ground to cover today, but before we get into any of that, I want to remind everyone watching and listening to please like, subscribe, and share the page, because I don't have a lot of friends, and it really helps me when you do that.
Yeah, please take some pressure off me.
So just a little bit background on Eric. So I met Eric back, it was like 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
At the time I was a district manager for a nutrition company. My store was based in Warwick, but I was only there a couple days a week as I covered locations ranging up to New Hampshire. I remember you used to come in, you were shy, quiet, you would just come in, grab your protein, ask minimal to no questions, very little interaction. But that happened a lot, being in the store. Little did I know that you are Hurricane Fusco. Like as I got to know you over the past, what is it now, almost 15 years.
Yeah. A lot of people called me that for many different reasons.
But mine was strictly for romance. So it was good that I got to know you, and I'm happy I got to know you when I did, because I felt like I met you when you were at a point in your life where you were not reaching out, but you were clearly trying to make a change. And I'm proud to say that I was able to see you at that point, then throughout this process, and to see who you become today. So for those who are listening and watching who don't know about you, as someone who was picked on a lot as a kid, so why don't you give everyone a brief background about like what your childhood was like and what you experienced growing up?
I mean, my childhood was like not like everybody else's, but it was your typical mother, father. They stayed together, still together today. God bless their soul.
Mine too.
A lot from them. Yeah, I know. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know either. Neither one of them drink.
No, they used to, but I think after years with me and my sister, there's nothing strong enough on this planet. So
you've neutered them.
Pretty much. I mean, I was always a big kid from pretty much like 3rd grade on. I was small coming out, 6 pounds, like 7 ounces. So I was a small
You weighed
little kid.
6'7" when you were born?
Yeah.
You want to hear the irony in this? I weighed 11 pounds on the nose.
Well, I mean, your nose is that big.
That was the heaviest I've ever been, was the day I was born.
Like I said, my parents were your typical American family. They were there. Dad worked a lot. Mom had her things going. But, you know, I was on my own with my sister, just pounding around the neighborhood. I mean, excuse me, kids being kids. And I was smaller. I came from a bigger Italian family, so there was always food when you go to the grandmother's.
The Sunday dinners and everything.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we would see them, they'd always, for somehow or another, there was always a plate of meatballs the minute you walked in the door. I don't know where they came from.
When you were a kid growing up, did you ever get, like, it was either $5 or a plate of food? And if you're lucky, you got both.
It was probably both. Yeah, but you, like, hated staying there because they'd have, like, the basic cable or just antenna, and you're like, you really want to hang out because you like the food and they're going to spoil you, but there's really nothing to watch on Sunday.
And then everyone smoked in the house, too.
No, she didn't smoke.
Oh, my family did.
No, she didn't smoke. My cousins, or my dad's cousins or whatever at that time, they had like the unsafe, we'll call it 80s style tree fort playground, so we did all the unsafe 80s things as a kid. And
nails sticking to the floor.
Yeah, but it was probably around like 3rd grade where I had like problems with my ears and everything, and I had tubes in and out of my ears, and then like, going into 4th grade, like from there on, the weight just started coming on.
And this happened after you had the issues with the tubes in
Yeah,
your
it was like something after that, something like changed. Could have just be that like the problems with the ears and everything. I was just getting spoiled with like food and or just like genes took over.
But I don't want to interrupt you. I'm glad you brought that up. What are the genetics like in your family? Like, you have bigger people in your family?
So my father's side, again, they were all Italians. There was a lot of big ones. My dad's like 260, 270, but he was always smaller, younger, rugged. But now he's got diabetes like I had. Grandmother had him, uncles had him. Mother's side, there wasn't really much for like that. They were all like small, French Canadian, Irish, more the drinking. So that's where I got that later in life from. But yeah, no. So it just like the weight just piled on from there, and I would try the fad diets, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, all the stuff. You know, the early '80s, the fad diets. Would go to specialists to make sure my sugar was fine and everything. one of the doctors, I guess, that I saw that I found out later in life, we'll call him not on the up and up, was boosting me with steroids. Come to find out it was overdosing me with them, so that's how I...
And how old were you?
I had to be like 9 or 10. What are you, like in 5th, 6th grade? What are you, like 8 or 9 in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I would get picked on because I was, at that point, still getting bigger, so...
So he was giving you actual steroids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they thought it was supposed to help me, and we found out many years later after he...
Probably fried your endocrine system.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I was strong as a beast, especially like when you met me. I was always the strong kid, but, you know, like anybody knows from taking anything, the adverse effects.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Not you.
Okay.
But...
let's clear that up right now.
Yeah, no, when you have the adverse effects, one side effect is weight gain if you don't lift and exercise. And, you know, I was...
Well, at that age, too, I don't know if I've ever correctly explained this, but, like, the amount of estrogen that your body's going to produce at that age, like, your body will literally just stay in that mode. Like, you'll just keep producing those hormones.
That explains why I got called a little bitch a lot, but that's a whole nother story.
I got called a little bitch for several reasons.
Well, I mean, your mom did pick you up. I mean, if...
That's exactly where it started.
It could have been, but I mean, if you look back at it now, you were like a modern-day Karate Kid, because Daniel LaRusso's mom picked him up, and then he became a badass.
Hashtag Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, so now you're kind of a badass. I mean, we're sitting here, you're kind of the cool kids.
Mike, when you get a minute, you'll tell my wife that I'm badass. Tell her to hurry up on those brownies, too.
Yeah, we want to see, for some reason, I don't think we're going to see him come back if once the viewers meet your wife. I mean, just saying, I don't always come around just for you.
I can't blame him, it's good taste.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, you're a little bitch.
So, yes, that's important, because you know, I had friends. We had a great neighborhood growing up. So, you know, you get picked on, you get called names. So the way I either fought it was I either made fun of myself or I just got angry and I would just lash out. And I'm not even going to remotely say that I was the nicest of kids growing up or for pretty much most of my adolescence.
Yeah, but it happens though, like you internalize all that stuff and it's going to come out in some way, shape, or form at some point in your life. Like,
kids were cruel, nothing like they are today. I mean, I don't know if I would have survived today to how they are. No,
well, everything was different when you were growing up. Like you would, if you had an issue, you just went out in the schoolyard.
You just beat the shit out of each other.
You just figured it out. That was it. You fought and got it over with.
And then like 10 minutes later, you were I mean, I don't know how many times growing up with kids in my neighborhood, we would all be sitting around and 2 hours later we'd be beating the hell out of each other in the front yard. And then 2 hours after that, we'd be all right. Let's go play video games.
Well, you're 10 years old, hopped up on testosterone, running around the neighborhood beating the living shit out of people.
I mean, I think at one point throughout the neighborhood, I beat up like 6 kids in one day, and then we were all friends again. I like beat up 3 brothers just cause.
Good.
Well, they didn't deserve it. I mean, I wasn't.
Shit
they
happens.
might have deserved it.
Shit happens.
It does. Brought to you by your sponsor, everybody. Shit happens.
Fight milk. Yes. Shit happens.
Fight milk. Shit happens. No. So then, just going through elementary school, it was just.
Do you remember how much you weighed at that point? Like roughly, if you had to guess.
Probably in elementary school, I was probably pushing 150, 160 in like 5th or 6th grade, and I mean I was the biggest, definitely the biggest kid, or one of the biggest kids in my elementary school.
And I know it's a reach, but can you have any kind of like recollection of like what your mindset was, or like?
Oh, it was dark. Yeah. I mean, I'd have fun, but I was the strange thing was you don't at that age you don't think about what you do, but you don't, because I was always out playing basketball, playing baseball,
staying engaged,
riding my bike, staying out late, having fun. Just doing normal kid stuff that you did in the 80s. Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, you know, I'm big, whatever. My uncles are big. It's just my genetics. I'm going to get used to it. Or everybody's like, well, you're going to grow into it. When you hit puberty, still hoping on that someday.
One day it's going to drop, don't worry.
It's going to drop. My voice did get lower, so that's always a plus.
Step in the right direction.
God damn.
It's all progress.
Yeah, I don't know how my wife puts up with me. It's terrible. But, you know, and then it got worse from there. I just went in junior high, but at least, like, again, in Warwick, you have the other schools coming in, so now you meet all these new group of people. So, yeah, there's still some bigger kids, but they have their cliques, but you are still bigger. Yeah. So then you're still picked on. It just progressively gets worse and worse and worse, or you either learn to live with it, or you make fun of yourself, or you just act out and hope today is going to be the day that you're not picked on or made fun of.
Did you ever talk to anybody about it, like a counselor or somebody within
Yeah,
the school or anything like that?
seventh grade was probably my roughest year.
Mm.
And I know, like, big thing with kids now, especially, like we were saying, how things have changed with cyberbullying and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't have that. But yeah, no, I went to dark places, contemplated ending things back then a lot.
Yeah.